Hello fishes and welcome back to another Smash Bros video. Since Rose talked about Samus last week, I suppose it's only fair that I get to take a crack at uh, talking about this universe. So that's what I'm doing. This week is Dark Samus. Sorry, I should have mentioned that. Um, and also don't forget to stay to the end to see a sneak peek of next week's character. But with Dark Samus, I never really played the Metroid games. You know, like doing this and having to talk about all these characters, I realized just how little like I know what they're from, but I haven't played a lot of the games that the Smash Fighters are from, which is maybe I should play some more games, broaden my horizons a bit. But I always just assumed Dark Samus was like Dark Pit in the sense of just like an evil clone made to destroy Link. And it's kind of right, but there's a bit more to it than that. Apparently, Dark Samus is the combination of one of Samus's suits, her DNA, and the dying body of Metroid Prime, which is one of the villains that you fight in the games. As you defeat Metroid Prime, its body absorbs her suit and DNA, and she just leaves because she's like, oh well, he's dead, whatever. And then the Metroid Prime infests the suit, and it becomes like the new body, and with the human DNA gives him, or it, whatever, the form of Dark Samus, which is really cool because it's kind of like a parasite fungus thing, which, it makes sense seeing it in like the texture and stuff of the suit when you play the games. It makes sense, and I just think it's kind of cool. But the goal of Dark Samus is to spread something called Phazon, I don't know how to pronounce it, which is like a radioactive material that's worth a lot of money, and it's dangerous and stuff like that. Again, don't know too much about this franchise, but that's what the texture of the suit is like what Phazon looks like, so that's why it's got like the veiny look to it, which we did for this art. It turns out really cool. Like the texture of this art piece, or for this piece, is really cool. Seeing Dark Samus with that texture and everything, it turned out really nice. You'll see in a little bit. I didn't realize when I was doing the research that we actually ever see Dark Samus without her helmet on. But there is apparently in one of the games, and she's got like this weird skeletal skull. It's like bright blue and has 3 eyes, and that's kind of weird. And the eyes are like white, no pupils, no nothing, just like white eyes. What else? Oh, when I have played Dark Samus in Smash Ultimate, I'll often do the white and red color scheme, because it reminds me of Ultron from the Marvel comics. That's just always what I see every time I play as Dark Samus. And that's the one I just typically play because I think it's the most fun. But I remember playing Smash 64, the original, and Samus was one of the fighters you could do, and didn't know what game she was from, didn't even know she was a girl. Not to assume that I assumed she was a guy, it just, it was a robot. As far as I knew, it was a robot. And I just liked playing with her, the giant, like, phaser ball. I don't know what it's called. But just letting it grow as big as possible and shooting it was always just so much fun. I do have a lot of other stories to talk about Smash 64, but that will be in a different video. But I have a lot to talk about for that character specifically. But with in Smash 64, before they had Mii's, they had the Polygon team, or it was like Fighting Polygon Team, I think is what it was called. And they were just like the models of the characters, but as basic shapes and flat colors, and that's how they did like their 100-person Smash. And you basically were just fighting these like polygonal clones of the fighters. But it was also really fun to see, like, try to tell which fighter was which based on the clone that you were fighting. This like polygon clone. Just a lot of fun memories of Smash 64. I really wish I had access to it, but I was borrowed it from a friend, and I doubt they still have it. And if I do ever get the opportunity to buy it again, you better believe I'm going to, just because it was so much fun to have that experience, and then to play Melee with friends on the Switch. Just so much fun. So much fun. I enjoyed every bit of it. What else to talk about? It always reminded me, Samus always reminded me of Halo. I never owned an Xbox, but I remember going and playing at my cousin's house, and there was one time they were house sitting for a friend, and this person had this giant in-home theater, and I want to say I was probably like 10 or 11 at the time, something like that. And they brought their Xbox and they hooked it up to this massive like in-home theater, and we just played Halo. And I was never good at it because I'm not really good at first-person shooter games like that. But that was so much fun to be able to play a video game on this giant screen that was basically an entire wall. And so, but that Samus has always kind of reminded me of that, of like Halo, and just reminded me of the Space Marine type going and destroying aliens, and it was a lot of fun. I really wish maybe if I can look into finding ways to play some of the older Metroid games. I know some of the best ones are for the GameCube. And unfortunately they never ported GameCube games to the Switch. I do have a GameCube, I don't know if I'd be able to find any of the games for a decent price. But yeah, the more time goes on, and like I said, doing this mural and realizing that I haven't played a lot of these games at all. I know about them and I know the general idea, but having never played them, it's really hard to talk about. But I enjoy it. I enjoy doing this with you guys, being here, talking, and just being able to ramble, because that's what it is most of the time, unless I know a lot about the character, like my Minecraft ones. There's just not a whole lot you can talk about without rambling a bit. I really love how Rose did, like I said, the texture of this and the light having the glow effect. Just so much fun. Honestly, one of my favorites with how it turned out. The person who got the character really likes how it turned out. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this. I know I am, and I'll like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys!